following anatomy terms and definitions are some common exercise terms that you might hear while working in the fitness center. Flexion is the decreasing of the angle of a joint. Extension is the increasing of the angle of a joint. You can see here in the elbow flexion and extension, neck flexion and extension, and knee flexion and extension. Hyperextension is the increasing of the angle of a joint beyond anatomical position. Dorsiflexion is when you move the top of the foot toward the shin at the ankle only. Plantar flexion is when you move the bottom of the foot downward at the ankle only. Abduction or abduction is any motion away from the midline of the body or body part. Adduction or adduction is any motion toward the midline of the body or body part. Elevation is when you move the scapula to a superior position. Depression is when you move the scapula to an inferior position. Prone is when you're face down, lying on your stomach. Supine is when you're face up, lying on your back. A concentric motion is when the muscle shortens and overcomes the resistive force. The example seen here is a bicep curl. An eccentric motion is when the muscle is producing force and is lengthening or returning to its resting length from a shortened position. The muscle gives in to the resistive force. The example here is the slowing of the descent of the weight, lowering the weight during a bicep curl. An isometric motion is when no visible movement occurs. The resistance matches the muscle tension. You can see here in the isometric hold in a bicep curl or the wall sit. Sagittal plane movements include flexion and extension and occur around a frontal axis. The example seen here is forward straight arm dumbbell raise. Frontal plane movements include adduction, abduction, lateral flexion, inversion, and eversion, and these movements occur around a sagittal axis. The example seen here is a lateral dumbbell raise. Transverse plane movements include internal and external rotation, horizontal adduction and abduction, and supination and pronation. These movements occur in a vertical axis. The example seen here is an internal and external shoulder rotation.